Hello and welcome back everyone. It's Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what the story is about today. In today's story, OP says, at this point, she still can't explain why she did it. She still insists it was only physical once. My wife and I have been married for 10 years and have 3 children under the age of 10. For the last at least 5 of those years, she's been having an EA with a guy she knew from high school. It all started when I noticed her getting text messages from an unnamed number in her phone. I alerted her to that. She came over and opened it while I was still standing beside her. I saw it was an ongoing conversation. She saw who it was and immediately deleted the conversation and told me she did not know who it was. She could tell I was shocked and that was not a good excuse. So she quickly admitted that it was an old boyfriend of hers, but that they were just talking as friends and she even knows his wife, so on and so forth. I take the kids to school and immediately pull the phone records. I find text history from the time she leaves for work until the time she gets home and then sporadically into the evening. I find call records up to an hour long. I reveal all this and press her about it, and it's still awful excuses. I go out of the house for a couple of hours to blow off steam and eventually come to the conclusion that this is likely a friendship just gotten out of hand, possibly crossed some boundaries, and that there is really not much to worry about. After all, the guy in question is 4 states away. I come home to start trying to talk this through and really feel we were going to pull through this eventually. Then it reminded me that in the call logs from that morning, I could also see picture exchange times and dates, so I do one more test. I begin to compare the timestamps of the pictures she sent to him with the pictures she sent to me. He got more pictures than me, but a lot of them line up perfectly. This includes photos of my children from school events and revealing pictures of her that she was sending to me. Everything I got, he got. I'm angry now. I asked her directly, she lies. I kept pressing her. She tells me that those were in fact the pictures that went to him. She follows, saying that she actually made a trip to spend a night with him in 2015 after dropping our kids off to stay with grandma. She swears this is the only time it ever happened. It could have maybe happened a couple more times, but she doesn't often travel there. I backtracked to that morning and I asked what was so important he had to text you earlier today. She said it was a blank text. I was confused, so I asked again. She said they don't save names and send a blank text first to see if it's clear to talk. There's a big system in place. At this point, she still can't explain why she did it. She still insists it was only physical once and the EA was on again, off again. She also says it's because I had questioned whether we should be married before years earlier, that it was rooted in some feeling of insecurity that I was just going to walk out one day. I'll admit, times have been rough in the past, but I got a new job where I'm home all the time. We moved to the locale we wanted and things have been better than ever. Still she's talking to this guy, sending him texts, pictures, etc. Her original excuse for why they have been talking so much is that he is moving soon and want to hear about our move and whatnot. I can only assume that maybe he was going to be passing through or move in closer and they wanted to make something out for the future. This is where it gets extra ridiculous. The following day, I began to put more of the picture together. In 2014, her younger sister's marriage had been ruined because said sister seeing another guy that turned out to be one of my wife's exes. I remember at the time thinking that she was a little too upset about this, but I chalked it up to something I just couldn't understand. Turns out it was the same guy. So she was upset about her EA met up with her sister. One guy systematically ruining a family. He's complete trash. I'm at a loss for how my wife could drawn to someone so repulsive. I'm completely broken. I don't know what to do. I'm just taking a couple of days off right now to clear my head, but my best friend feels like a stranger. Every great memory feels tainted. I try not to, but I question what I was doing wrong all the time. Edit. This all came out 2 days ago. She is losing her mind about it. She changed her phone number, blocked him, and deleted all her social media. End of part 1. If you are enjoying the story so far, please give a thumbs up. And now, here is the update. I finally got her to tell me the physical part of the friendship. It happened on 3 different occasions in 2015 alone. Sometimes she went to his state, sometimes he came to ours. She would go out and meet up with him and then come home to me. I just met with the attorney to begin process. I don't even want to look at her right now. I stayed out of town for a few days. I then got a local Airbnb so that I could reintegrate with the kids' schedules. As of a few days ago, I moved back into the house to see if we can salvage this. At that time, my wife's whole demeanor changed. We've had more intimacy than ever and had deeper conversations about this and other parts of our relationship. She's been completely transparent, telling me more details of the story that sometimes make it easier to process and sometimes make it more difficult. She allows me unfettered access to her cell phone. She deleted all social media apps, changed her phone number, and blocked him on all accounts so that even with deleted apps he cannot view our lives. She attributes her initial coldness to being in survival mode since she was very sure that I was going to leave her immediately given what has happened. She has taken on more of a vigilance role in all of this to ensure that it isn't swept under the rug. She looks for triggers that I experience and lets me know who she's calling or texting and shows me without me asking. She provides answers and details to this that I didn't ask. She told me about the phone conversation she had with him on the day I found out. The only question he had was, "Why did you tell him my actual name? Is he going to call my wife?" And he ended it by saying, "Call me in a few weeks when this settles down." She tells me that her answers to the first 2 questions were, "I'm tired of lying about this and I don't care." Apparently, him asking her to call him when it settles down triggered something in her, which I could see it wash over her face when she told me. This person isn't even my friend, much less anything more. She told him to never contact her again and proceeded with the phone number change. I told her that if he ever does contact her again, that I'm to know immediately. I think working through who this high school ex actually was has helped healing on both sides. I think now she understands that he never genuinely cared about her or whatever issues she may be going through. That whatever text message work that he had to do to maintain the relationship from 700 miles away while he laid in bed with his wife was a small price to pay for the ego boost it gave him. We have dissected their relationship and ours to pieces. I only needed to work through it because at the end of the day, I don't want to stand between her and this guy if that's what she truly wants. She claims it was never about the physical part. It was just this feeling of comfort from some loser still in her hometown doing pretty much the same stuff they were doing when they were teenagers. They would go weeks and months without talking and she would tell herself it was over, but then he would slowly carve out more of her time and she allowed it. There were elements of attention seeking about it, but keeping it over the phone allowed her complete control over the situation to keep him as engaged or disengaged as she needed. Control around the situation is an element she brought up many times. She still gets distant at times when recovering from our more heavy conversations. I have spoken with her about this and how that distant demeanor is what I believe would allow her to carry this on while living this happy life with me. She acknowledges that and generally rebounds quickly, but knows also that is the focus of IC. The need to withdraw and think things over isn't inherently bad, but disconnecting from a situation or person makes you do things out of character. She has shown willingness for me to talk about this with whomever I need to and to face my lifelong friends and be there despite the shame of it all. Shame is a topic that we have spoken on a lot. She seems committed to giving this her best effort. I have seen her break down and crying out of pure guilt and remorse for what she has done. I know my wife. She doesn't enjoy showing weakness or crying in general. I have told her in no uncertain terms that the wall between us has to come down or I'm gone. If anything doesn't go exactly how I want this to go, I'm gone, and at the end of all of this, I may still choose to go. I still love my wife, and she tells me that she loves me too. I believe her. I don't know if there is a future, but if I walk away, I want it to be because I made a proper decision, not that I stormed off in a cloud of emotions. Long story short, we are moving forward with the divorce. I'm in an Airbnb at the moment, but I'm going to start looking for more permanent accommodation. She called the realtor yesterday to discuss putting up the house on the market. We decided this for good yesterday, and that maybe one day in future we could date, but from right now we are independent people. We have a schedule for the kids and a list of things to uncouple. Next step is the official separation agreement. I'm trying to stand strong on this, but it's hard looking back at old photos and thinking back on good times. Then I just come back to ask myself how she could do this if she was so happy and so in love with me. End of the story. Well, OP, good for you. In the end, it may work out down the road, but right now, proceed as you are, keep moving forward. I wish you all the best for the future. Well guys, until I come back tomorrow with another epic story, please like and comment on this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you will be notified when we upload the next video. Take care.